Basketball fans, welcome back. So, what can we expect from the Nairobi City Thunder? So, about 2 weeks ago, the Nairobi City Thunder were able to make it to BAL Season 6, and they were able to defend the Division East title. So, they are back to back titles. Not only are they back to back KBF titles, but they're also back to back Division East title holders. So, they're able to defend that, and that was great because they're able to win 4-0 and they're able to beat the Joburg Giants twice, once in the group phase and also in the finals. And looking at the Thunder's performance, it was great, especially with the new acquisitions. I must say, albeit I was very skeptical with the new signings that they brought in. And I also made a video talking about the Nairobi City Thunder's performance, and I also highlighted a few things there. And in this one, I'll just go ahead and unpack things that we have seen and also recent developments that have happened. So the Thunder had their, I can say, end of LE16 briefing, and it was a briefing that was just there to highlight the things they have done. But when you look closer in it, you'll see that it was just glazing themselves. They were just glazing their performance, giving us hopes that they can be able to right the wrongs of BAL Season 5. And one thing that I can tell you that is a fact is you can never avoid BAL Season 5 in the performance for the Thunder. I know a lot of people are trying to forget that and they're saying, we're looking forward, but we have to look at the recurrent patterns for the Nairobi City Thunder. So the Thunder have two things that they must do. They must A, prepare for BAL Season 6, and B, defend their KBF title. And no way, and there's no way these two events should mix, preparing for BAL and defending their title, because the biggest mistake that the Thunder did was they went ahead and mixed the two. And when they mixed the two, it ended up hurting them in the continental stage. Domestically, they're able to dominate and they're able to go ahead and go unbeaten. A lot of people are riding on the unbeaten wave, but when it comes to BAL, I don't think the unbeaten streak means anything, because they are going to match up against teams that are respective champions from their countries that are coming from, and they're not weak teams, I must say. So the Nile Conference, we are yet to see the teams that are going to be there, because the BAL keeps making a few last minute changes, especially when it comes to conferencing. And one thing I noticed is BAL does not really care about even where the country is situated. It's situated, so you're not seeing like zonal conferencing. Luckily enough, the Nairobi Thunder fall in the Nile Conference, so I don't think they're going to be pushed to the Sahara Conference. I don't think so. That's something unlikely. But looking at the way things are, the Thunder, the potential Nile Conference, I can say according to the map. So we have the Al Ahly Benghazi team that's going to replace Al Ahly Tripoli, APR, Nairobi Thunder, and Dar City. So with a lot of people having optimism saying that the Thunder can be able to make it, the Thunder can be able to do some significant damage in BAL. But looking at the teams that we are pulled in, it's going to be a tough one. And I must say, I am still optimistic. I feel like they have a fighting chance, because I don't think failure is something that they should avoid, because they have failed in BAL Season 5. So even this one, they should have that confidence to go ahead and try. But what they do, especially when it comes to signing players, is what is going to determine whether they are going to be there. They can opt to improve the roster that they have internally and have some players get better, or B, go ahead and sign mercenary players who are going to bail you out when it matters. So if you look at it closely, you'll see that the Nairobi City Thunder, in their Road to BAL campaign this year, they went direct to the Elite 16. All of the teams that the Thunder played went all the way from the first round to the Elite 16, which is not a fault of their own. The Thunder won Division East last year, so they were entitled to go ahead directly. So they didn't have so many games that the foreign guys played, and I'm not sure if the Thunder are going to be able to bring them back, because last year Atermajok, Haruna left. The Thunder were left with a big hole, especially in their offense and defense, and that's the reason as to why they consider a lot of points. There's little team chemistry, and not differentiating between domestic play and continental play was the reason as to why they failed. And I addressed this multiple times. I've made multiple videos talking about the Thunder's first world problem, which if they don't tackle it, it's going to cost them dearly. And all in all, I'm happy to see the Thunder in BAL Season 6 because they need to go ahead and redeem themselves because they had a very, very poor outing. A lot of people are trying to avoid that. A lot of people are trying to gloss over that fact. They're trying to say that, uh, there was some, this was their first time, they had a bad day at the office. So I'm waiting on the excuses that the Thunder fanboys, the people who are supporting the Thunder, what are they going to say now? Because yes, the Thunder were able to feed off the energy from Kasarani, which was great. But when they go ahead and play in Rwanda, the crowd will be quiet and they are not going to be cheered. Actually, the team that is going to play at home is APR. So yeah, waiting on to see the type of matchups they're going to have because it's a very fluid situation. You can't depend on like the BAL just using zoning itself because even in the first ever Kalari conference, you saw FS Darabat, a North African team play in the Kalari conference. Kalari conference is in the southern part of Africa. So yeah, I mean that's something I'm going to be waiting on. But what do you think the Thunder can do differently this time around? Yes, in the road to BAL, they're able to sign, very good players. I must say, I was not that confident with these players because of the Thunder being out of character. They are a very social media vibrant team, especially in their first go around in the first round, the Elite 16 last year in 2024. With 2025, they were a bit quiet and they tried to let the game do their talking. And the players that usually had like dud games, they showed out and they played well, and it was an improved performance. But the roster that the Thunder had in 2024, I must say, it was much stronger than what we had now. Because looking at the sample size, the Thunder played 9 games, as opposed to this year where they played only 4. So there was a lot of reps, a lot of minutes that they had, and at least the Thunder were able to go ahead and even in the games that they had, they went on a winning streak and they won 4 straight. So that is one thing that is great. But the biggest problem that is going to have the Thunder is being stuck in that euphoria. And I'm seeing it right now because right now I feel like they are a bit, I'll be delusional. Their front office, their management is a bit delusional. They think that they can just wipe the failures of BAL Season 5 under the rug and not address it. And I've seen them take the high road on this one. And they are not acknowledging it because with their poor performance in BAL Season 5, they did not do a press conference to address it. They did not say anything. They went quiet. They coiled their tails between their legs and focused on KBF, and they did not say anything. And in this one, hopefully they'll do a press conference at the end of BAL Season 6 so that they can be able to see if these people really stand on what they say, because they're only vocal when they win. When they win, that's when they have a lot of things to say. But when they lose, they are very quiet. And yours truly is not going to be quiet, regardless of the outcome, because I was very vocal, especially with the Thunder. And I even put them on fraud watch. When it comes to the continental stage, I feel like the Thunder are very strong for the local teams here in Kenya. So that's the main reason as to why they're able to go ahead and dominate teams. But when it comes down to teams that have the ability to beat them, that's when they look weak. And I must say, the Thunder were the weakest team in the Nile Conference. And I don't know if they're going to bring the players that ball for them the same way they ball in Road to BAL, because Road to BAL and BAL are two different competitions. I mean, on one hand, you're beating teams that didn't make it. I mean, the Thunder beat Namongo Blazers, they didn't make BAL. The only team that the Thunder were able to beat and made BAL was the Joburg Giants. And, they beat CFV, which was great. I mean, they're not in BAL. So will the Thunder be able to have what it takes to go ahead and compete in BAL Season 6? I mean, this is something that I will know in the next 5-6 months. But the way they prepare and the way they put together a team that's going to help them, that is what is going to determine their success. Because majority of the time, a lot of people who are delusional have a tendency of glossing over these things. And they have a tendency of thinking that they are invincible. Because last year, when I was reading through the comments, when the conferences were announced and the teams in the respective conferences were put out by BAL, a lot of people came out and said, this is winnable. This is something that they can do. But when They went ahead and played their first, second, third game. I mean, they had that watch party in the first game against APR. Got brought down back to earth, and it was embarrassing. And the type of signings that they had were poor. So I'm waiting to see that, and I'm waiting to see the type of performance they're going to put up this coming BAL season 6 in the year 2026. Hopefully, they're going to play as the last conference. I want to see them, have a fighting chance at qualifying for the playoffs, because the only way the Thunder can redeem themselves is, one, they have a winning record, and number two, they make the BAL postseason. If they don't do these two things, they are failed in BAL. They are failed, and I can say it will even be worse than what we saw in BAL season 5 this past May. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below. So this one I went off the cuff. I said, let me just go ahead and talk about these things. And there are a couple of things that I missed out on, and I hadn't gotten the chance to put them together in that previous video. So this was just a follow-up of that, and I'm out. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.